Good morning, everyone. This is Lola Wrist with LolaWrist.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I am ready to get going in January of 2023. So thankful. It is here, and we're moving forward. Okay, so give me a minute. There it is. Let's see. Sometimes it allows me to have the comments, and sometimes it doesn't. So we shall see what this one will do. Okay. So there we go. Okay. Good morning, Doris. Nice to have you with me today from Iowa. Did you have a good New Year, Doris? Ringing it in? I think I went to bed by 10 o'clock. I was just not ready. We were in a hotel up in Kansas City, and we'd had a long day visiting family and friends, and I just said, I'm going to bed. So I let it ring in without me. All right. So I apologize. I had a phone call that came in, so I thought I had deleted it, but instead it opened it up. Oh, so I'm glad you had a good quiet day. Quiet days are good. Quiet days are kind of nice. I like quiet days where I can get stuff done. Good morning, Cindy. How are you today? Glad you're with us. So I'm going to go on ahead and turn this around. Cindy, if you've not caught me before, usually I craft on the fly. I have an idea in my head of what I'm going to do, and then I get going on it, and it might work and it might not. And I think that's important for you guys to also see that sometimes things don't work out perfectly. And how can you fix and adapt it so that you can get it to work? I will tell you, though, today I did not do that. I haven't been on for a week and a half with the holidays and the family visiting and the granddaughters. So instead, I did do a card today to show you. This is a card that is a floating frame fun fold. And I'm going to be using the new products that's coming out of the new holiday. Oh, it's nice to have you with us from Massachusetts. Good morning, Arla. Nice to have you here too. And Anne, I see you're here. So this is from the new catalog with the stamps. But the paper itself is going to be one that is in the annual catalog right now. You know, we think that we have to use everything that's brand new that comes out, but you can intermix things and share it right and left. So this is the stamp sets that I pulled out. Last night I did go in and I hunted for something to work on. So I pulled out the Regency Suite and I went with Petal Park and Sentimental Park. Good morning, Jamie. Petal Park comes with a punch that allows you to punch these three flowers as one. They're put together as one so that when you stamp it, they're in perfect position and you can punch directly. This one here comes with the greetings, but it has a sets of dies that go with it. And I had thought I was going to use the dies, and then I ended up using just the greetings out of it instead. So this is what we're going with, okay? So then I went with a color combination, and I wanted something with a soft pink color. I really struggle with Stampin' Up! Pink. Sometimes Petal Pink is too peachy for me. Blushing Bride, I have to be careful. Sometimes I think the inky, it almost is kind of beigey flesh tone. I don't know. We've had Magenta Madness, and I didn't like that because I thought that was like Pepto-Bismol pink. Polished Pink is pretty. I can handle that. But this time I went with the Blushing Bride, and I paired it with Mary Merlot. Then I needed greens, and I paired those with Mossy Meadow and Granny Apple Green. These come from the package of a Washed with Beauty DSP that is in the annual catalog. So where did I come up with it? Go to your DSP packs, turn it over to the back side, and look at the color combos that are there, okay? And I will tell you, if you go to the catalog more than times, there's only like 5 ink and cardstock colors that they pull out. but there's more. And if you look at the DSP package, you will discover there's probably more like 10 or 11 that you could use. So these are my colors: Blushing Bride, Merry Merlot, Granny Apple Green, and Mossy Meadow. Okay. All right. So let's get going here. I have typed up my measurements onto a PDF. And I am printing my PDF on my website, so you don't have to take notes or anything like that. In probably 30 minutes after I finish up here, I will have it published on my website. So go to lolarist.com, and that will pull it up so that you can pull up the PDF with the floating frame fun fold. Okay. So this is a regular size piece of cardstock that I cut 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And then it's scored again at 2 1/8. Okay, 4 1/4, and then that one piece, that 4 1/4 section is scored at 2 1/8. Okay, we're going to go on ahead and put down the first piece, which is our mat. I am a matte person. I like mats, and I like small margins around those mats. So this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay. Then I have a piece of white that is 4 by 5 1/4. But I'm not going to put it down yet. I want to stamp on it first. Then I used, this is 2 1/8. So I needed 2 inches by 5 3/8. And it will go on one side of that fold line. And you will need 2 of these. So here's the second one. Trying to keep them in alignment. Okay. And then this is the Awash with Beauty. And I like that. I love the paper, but sometimes it's too busy for me. And I wanted something that was really subtle and soft. So I went with this piece that is Blushing Bride. And it almost has like, I don't know. It's not linen. It makes me think of a soft, fuzzy blanket. And it is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And you need 2 of those. It looks like it's a confusing, fun fold to do, but it is not. Oh, there's my glue. I was looking for my glue. Then I went with a decal die, and if you haven't got decal dies, I love the decal dies. I was so excited when they came out with the stitched rectangles because everything that's stitched I had to have. But I didn't like the fact that they were hard to push out, and invariably you got a little bent spot somewhere trying to push it out of those corners. So I really like the decal dies. And then I just took it, and once I figured out the decal die that I wanted, then I cut a map that's just a little bit bigger than that. And then I also needed, there's 2 of these. I need 2 pieces that are 2 inches by 3/4 probably. And then this one is going to be 2 1/2, I believe, by 5/8. And then this one is 3/4 by 2 5/8. Again, make sure you go to lolarist.com because then you can print everything off right. Okay, so those are our pieces that we're going to work with. And we're going to start with our stamps. But first, I want to show you one thing that I want you to be really careful with, okay? So I'm going to clean a stamp. We're going to clean one of the big pieces of greenery. Because when you go to do your photopolymer, you have to be very, very careful with those. Okay? Your photopolymer are so easy to stretch, and they are very easy to get off-centered. And I could put this on here and think I had it right. But when you go to overlap, this is the inside of the leaf, this is the dark outline edge. When you go to overlap, it won't fit. Okay? And maybe just to show you clarification, let's do that. So let's take Mossy Meadow and let's ink up the outside image, the outline. And then let's take Granny Apple Green and see if I can connect this. And I don't think it'll work because I have stretched things out to the point that no matter how hard I try, I get that up there lined up right. Everything else is not lined up right. So what I do recommend is when you go to put those stamps on there, especially when you're going to do a two-step image, such as the outline of the leaves and then the inside of the leaves, start them both in the very same position. And by doing that, I want you to lay it flat. Take it out of your packet of your stamp and then just lay it flat. Don't sit there and try to put the block on the image or the stamp onto the block. Put the block to the stamp. And then things will line up much, much better. Okay? I say that and who knows, it may not. It should though. All right, so let's go on ahead and take our decal die. And I'm going to ink it up with the Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to fit it on my decaled die image here. Like so. I'm going to stay to the top. There's that one. And then we're going to take our Granny Apple Green. Sometimes I take the ink to the stamp, depending upon if the stamp is a bigger one. I have a tendency to stamp in the middle, and then all the ink on the outside is darker. I don't know how many of you do that. So I'm trying to be a little more careful about using all parts of my... All right. Oh no, how come that's not working? Oh gosh, guys. Give me a minute. I want to clean them both, and let's start this over. Just a minute. Make sure that this one is on there right. So if you haven't ever noticed that, or if you have and wondered, why can't I get it to line up? It's because you're not letting them rest and then matching them and taking the block to the stamp. Okay. All right. So let's stamp this here on my paper and just see what we get. Okay. And then this one we have with Granny Apple Green. And let's see if I can get it to line up right. Interesting. That's still not going to get it. Ha! Okay, we're going with it because that's what I've got today, but I will be working on that one. All right, so I've got this one going. Let's just see if I can get this to line up. So any of you have problems sometimes with your photopolymer stamps? Here's another way you can line it up by laying it over there, but I have to be careful that I don't have any ink on it, and then press lightly. Okay, let's see if that got it. Those little spots right there, and this one, but specifically this one, they will stretch out. So do be very careful with them. Okay, hold your breath. Cross your fingers. Let's see. I can't do that and stamp at the same time. So, yeah, this is going to get it. Okay, so that got it. We got around it. Like so. All right. And then we're going to go on ahead and we're going to stamp the inside of our card and have that taken care of too. And I'm only going to take a portion. I'm going to take the section that's got the two little sprigs here. And I'm going to stamp like so. And that's the end of Mossy Meadow. And here is Garden Green, or Granny Apple Green. A little easier to only have to match a little of it, okay? All right, so we're done with the greens, and we're done with those big stamped images. Let's go on ahead and step those off to the side for now. And now let's take a scrap piece of paper of white, and we're going to take Mary Merlot, and we're going to stamp the outline of the flowers. Have I got the right one? Yeah. Make sure you line it up so it matches up with the punch the way you have it cut. Okay. So there's one. And I'm going to do a second one, and I will show you why here in a second. So I'm going to take it, and I'm going to do a second one. Then I'm going to take Blushing Bride. And I'm going to match the flower insert color to the outline. And I'm going to do the same there. Don't worry about that one because I don't need two of those big ones. I only need one. Okay. And we're going to punch those. When you think you've got it just about right, give your punch a little bit of a squeeze. You still have the ability to move the cardstock around, but it will help hold it in place somewhat so you don't have a big movement. You can do small movements based on just getting that paper somewhat pinched by the punch. Okay, so there goes the punch. I don't need this big one, so I'm going to pitch it. And I also am not using the leaves, so I pitch those. And this is what I have to work with, okay? All right, so we're going to go on ahead and we're going to put this on the inside of the card. like so. Okay, and then we're going to take some pieces of dimensional and a little more adhesive, and we're going to take and use one of the small flowers. I could use a glue dot. I don't think I have any glue dots sitting here, so I'll just use some adhesive, and I'm just going to push it on with adhesive. And then I'm going to take a dimensional and put on the back of the medium flower. And I'm just going to do that so that this one is dimensional. It's going to be up, and there is a reason why. It's the purpose of how to make that card hold and stand. So we're going to go on ahead and take this decal die. And we're going to put it on top of the Mary Merlot section there, okay? And then we're going to take these flowers and we're going to put them on with dimensionals. So 1, 2, and 3. This little piece on the bottom of the little one. And this one here. Okay, and I'm just going to put that in amongst the leaves. And this big one is going to fit right in here, like so. And I'm going to keep this one up. I could space it down, but I'm going to keep it up because I'm going to put a greeting across the bottom, and I don't want anything glued there, okay? All right, so let's go on ahead and get the greeting piece on. I have the greeting from Sentimental Park that says, "Dear friend." And I'm not going to put an inside greeting because it could be a thinking of you. It could be sympathy. It could be birthday. It could be get well. So I like to keep pretty general on my cards without limiting them so that I've got them available for whatever I need. And I also like to write on my cards, so it makes a difference too. Some people don't care to do that. They'd like to have their greeting on their card and then just sign it. And then I'm going to put some adhesive down on here. Again, the measurements, if you're late coming in, the measurements will be posted on my website, lolarisk.com, in about 30 minutes, okay? I'm going to go on ahead and put this time, I'm going to put it on with dimensional. Earlier on the other card, I did not do dimensionals, so I'm going to do it, and we're going to see which one we like better. Or maybe they're both about the same. We'll see. Okay. And I'm just going to go across. And basically, I'm going to make sure that it goes all the way across the white. And it's going to blend into the matte behind it. So it looks like it's the whole piece across, but it's really just across the white. Okay? All right. Now here's how it works. How do you get it to go from this to this? Okay? And to make it look like it's floating. So it's a very easy thing, but it's a hidden mechanism. You're going to take like 2 pieces that are 2 inches by 3/4 or half. It really does not matter if they are exact, if they're 1/2 inch or 3/4 or 7/8. I mean, it doesn't matter. Okay? And I'm going to fold them in half. And I'm going to crease it down good with both of them. Like so. And then I'm going to take it, and I want the fold right here to be on the inside. So give me a second because I have to walk over here and get my glue. Here we go. So I'm going to take my Tombow glue. You don't want it to be just the your tape adhesive. It's really not that strong. And so you want to go on ahead and put these on. And up here, I did not put that even, but I think I am going to this time. I think I'm going to bring it down and even it. So, hey, Kathy, nice to have you, but I know you'll be back. You know, we come and we go. So I'm going to take and I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on either side. Try to keep them even. So my pieces that are my mechanism will stay even. And I'm just going to take it. And the fold, again, is on the inside. Let's take it all the way to the Mary Merlot edge of the mat. And we're going to do the same thing here. If they're off a hair, it won't matter. Main thing is that they are basically in the same area. And you've got them down. Okay. So now let's go on ahead and take the Tombow again. And we took that piece, remember, we folded it. So it's on a fold. And I'm going to take it and put some Tombow here. And I'm going to try to put this somewhat even. The nice thing about Tombow is that it does make you move, but you want to be careful. If you move it off of those papers, it will, might take the adhesive with it. Okay? And there it is. And that's how it comes to be together, guys. Isn't that cute? And the flower over here that's on the dimensional is the one that allows that to stay locked in place because it just tips in behind it. Just a hair. Okay, so we're going to do one more thing. We're going to put some embellishment on it, and we are done. Okay, so let's use, these are the adhesive-backed Milky Dots that are part of the Regency Suite in the new mini catalog. They're petal pink, but by the time you set them on top of that Blushing Bride, you never know it was petal pink. And I'm going to get a big one for the larger flower. Okay, so there they are. This is my floating frame fun fold card. And I hope you like it. Thanks for coming and being with me today, guys. Again, I craft on the fly, so you saw that I had some mistakes with lining up my stamps, but we worked our way through it, and that's what I want you to do too. There's always a way to get around mistakes. There's always a way to fix something. So until tomorrow on my blog, and next week, we will be back on Monday with Facebook Live. Tomorrow night, Tuesday, Pam and I will be here on our group page, and that's the stamp, ink, and paper creating with Pam and Lola. So until then, guys, take care, God bless, and have a great, great beginning of 2023. Bye-bye.